Okay, I'm back for the next product out. It's probably my favorite all time. Is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. And let me show you in our little guide here where that comes from on the animal. There's a picture of a Coca-Cola right there. Sometimes it's just called Coppa. And you can see right there behind the neck, or behind the head on the neck. So it's not a big piece of meat. This is one from the pig that we did in November at our hog harvest class. Right? So that was made right here about 3 months ago. This was just taken off the animal. It was trussed, then dredged in salt. There's a formula that you use depending on the weight of the piece of meat, how much salt and how long you leave it on salt. Then it's taken off, it's brushed off, and then hung at 60 degrees, 60% humidity. And as I said in another video, that would not be acceptable to the good people at the USDA because they think that meats need to be hung at 40 degrees. The bacterial action will not happen at 40 degrees, and that's why they say that. And therefore, you will not get a bacterial cure, which is what this is. You would have to put a curing agent in, and it's questionable whether that curing agent is something that you want to put in you. So this is something that we make here. There's a cross section of it right there of the Coppa. I could hold up 3 different ones and they'd all look different. They'd have a different design, fat design. Where this muscle is right behind the head, if you ever watch pigs in action, they're constantly digging, or they call it rooting. So they're pulling up with their head. They have that disc on the end of their nose and they're putting that in the soil and they're picking up all the time. So this muscle gets a lot of exercise. And a muscle that gets a lot of exercise gets a lot of fat, because fat is what feeds the muscle. All right, now if this pig was in a confinement operation, that would just be clear and pink. It would be the other white meat. It would not have the intermuscular fat in it. Again, this is cured. It is not cooked. It is suitable for cooking, always. It's real suitable for just slicing off real thin and putting it on a bun, a nice bulky roll with really good mustard, and you have arrived. You really have arrived. It goes nicely with a little bit of horseradish. It goes good with all kinds of wine. Usually they'll eat this with red wine and cheese, Triscuits, things like that. Usually an hors d'oeuvre. So let me slice some of this and show you what a sliced off piece looks like. Okay, I'm going to cut this at 250, 2.50 millimeters. Okay, I'm going to cut another one at 3. Okay, that's 3 millimeters right there, and that's 2.75 millimeters. And believe it or not, you get a different profile, flavor profile, depending on how thick you cut it. I would have never believed it, but it's true. You really do. Now something like this, you could just cut off a pile of them. You could put it on a roll, put it under the broiler for a couple of minutes just to warm up the bread and maybe make the bread a little bit crunchy, and just unbelievable good. This is my favorite. You know, if the whole pig could be Coppa, I think that would be great. A little bit more on that. The dark redness is because the animal is in the sun. It helps with hemoglobin production into the muscles. Pigs that are in confinement, you would not see that. They would just be very very pale, kind of the other white meatish stuff. The fat is all derived from what they're eating, right? So they eat grasses and roots, and then they convert that into the fat. They pull the fat out of that, and they concentrate that fat in their muscles. So it's really a neat animal to be able to do that, to make fat out of grass. Cattle do it too, but pigs do it a slightly different way. Let's see, what else about this? This doesn't last around here. This piece that I cut, I'm going to have to hide. If I leave it any place where somebody can see it or smell it, the kids will attack it and kill it. They'll eat it. So this is kind of private stock stuff. Let's see. Okay, taste test. Sometimes I do trim this, but this side I don't need to. Very different from the pancetta. Very different. I think I'd have to be a food taste tester to be able to explain it to you. But I really can't. It's just kind of woody. I don't know, it doesn't taste like pork. I don't know, it's just got a very unique flavor to it, but it is really, really good. That other piece there, I am going to eat and probably slice off some more and eat them too, because I can. All right, be back at you with the next product.